Hello everybody and welcome to the track guide for Brands Hatch in the Mustang GT4 for the Mustang Challenge. This is round 10, I think. Lap times for this week are going to range from 28.9 to right around 29.9. And like an idiot, I did not save the replay, so the best you get is the onboard with telemetry. We'll let it run and then we will get down into the breakdown. See you on the other side.
One more lap. There's the flag. It's over.
Alright, so let's get stuck in. As with any qualifying lap, you want the best run out of the final corner as you can possibly give it. This maximizes our speed as we enter T1. We want to aim to be mid-track kind of as we cross the start-finish line, and then we're aiming to brake in between the 150 and the 100 board here. So once we get to the 150 board, again, just rolling on the brakes, really nice and easy, and then we're going to see some green asphalt up here, or what I believe is green painted asphalt. And that's going to signal our turn-in marker for T1. There's also another white line that you can use as a signal for when to turn in. So we're going to start rolling off our brakes at about this point, and we're going to head straight for the apex that we can just start to see here. Now, you want to get your right side tires as close to that white line as you can, but not over it. You really don't want to touch this curb at all. As the track falls away from you, the car can get really unsettled. So we're going to get on the throttle as we are headed downhill before the apex here, and then we're going to use all of this green grasscrete or green painted tarmac on the left-hand side of that curb to give us the widest exit that we possibly can. Again, it is full throttle. The track does obviously go downhill, but it does pick back up, and all that grip that you've lost will regain, but you do want to have your steering wheel as straight as possible going down. And as we enter the next corner, this right-hander coming up, it is a little blind. However, you can brake anywhere in between the end of this sand trap and the 50 board. Keep in mind, the later that you brake, the more chance you have to wash up in this corner. So I recommend erring on the side of caution and just brake a little earlier and just a little less. And I promise you, you will do the exact same times, whether you're braking at the 50 board or whether you're braking earlier. And it has the added benefit that you don't cook your tires doing that lap after lap after lap. So once we reach this 50 board, we are going to start aiming immediately for the curbing, and our goal is to put a right side tire over the curbing, but not much more past the white line than is already there. And then you have to be very, very, very patient as you get on the throttle as we are headed back downhill, and you don't want the car to wash out too wide. So as you exit this corner, you don't want to touch the curbing here. There is a little bit of AstroTurf out here, and I know it can be a little tempting. However, that AstroTurf falls away from you, and it doesn't help you widen up this corner at all. It is a detriment to you, so just keep it on the black stuff, and then we'll head back towards the 50 board. And we're going to brake a little bit before this 50 board, just because we are headed downhill. The car has a tendency to get really, really loose here if you brake too late. And then we're going to aim to put our right side tires on this AstroTurf that's over here. It's a small strip. It will just help you open up the left-hander that follows this. And then we're going to try and put our tires over this curb. And then we can use all of this grass out here. You can put your entire car in it and you will not get a 1X. And then the next marker is this 50 board right here. You can also signal it by the end of this AstroTurf once again, and then your turn-in point is somewhere around the entry or somewhere around the beginning of this curb here. Now, a lot of newer drivers have a tendency to get really loose or spin, and they're like, I don't know why that's happening. If you feel uncomfortable trail braking in on the rubber line and you feel that it is too loose, just tighten up your line a little bit and put your left side tires under this rubber line here. Yes, it will tighten up the entry to this corner and compromise your exit slightly, but if you do a good job rolling on the throttle from apex, you shouldn't lose all that much speed, and you make yourself a more consistent driver by doing that. As you get better at driving, you can drag this corner a little bit wider. So you'll see how this curb juts out just a little bit, where this is our throttle on point, and we kind of want to apex here on the backhand side, and then we're going to use all the track on the right hand side to maximize our exit speed. Then we've got a long drag down to this right hander. We're looking to brake right at the 100 board. It's a super, super late apex. And then as we exit this, there is a pretty good chance to run off track. So again, this is another corner where you just have to be a little bit patient with throttle application so that you don't get the 1X on the outside. And then we're going to brake in between this 50 and 100 marker. The track is, again, falling away from you. There is also AstroTurf here on the inside that you can place nearly the entire car on. You just want to make sure you have your left side tires over the white line. But try to, as you can see this rubber line here, try to get your right side tires under that line, over onto the grasscrete here, and then all the way out of the grasscrete on exit. So again, this is our throttle on point right at the apex. Use all that grasscrete and then drag it all the way out to the left. You're going to start dragging the brake just a little bit after this 100 board here. And you've got this unsighted right-hander that you're going to turn in for, and the best marker for the turn-in point is probably the end of this gravel trap here. And there's grasscrete again on the inside. You won't see it until you're upon it, but you can use all of that as long as your left side tires are not past the white line. And then drag it all the way out. Brake a little bit before the 50 board here. And then try to get it tucked in. I've found that if you are a little bit wide here or a little bit late on entry, the car has a tendency to want to wash out or get really loose on entry as it falls into the camber here. And then again, just right before the apex, get back on the throttle as gently as you can, but firmly. And then you can use a little bit of the curving just to help you stay inside the track here. And again, in between the 100 and the 50 board, somewhere around 80, 75. It's a little bit of a light brake, and your turn point is going to be this access road right here. You're aiming to apex just right after the large curbing ends. And then you are back on the throttle again as it heads downhill. Again, this is another corner that it goes down and then it goes back up. So the car does regrip as you are losing grip in that compression. And it helps to shift up into third really early just to get the grip out. And then if you're on a qualifying lap, just hold it as tight as you can to the wall.
There's the flag. It's out.
Again, there was another lap that I forgot to record that was faster than this. It was a 29.197 that was also done in qualifying and race session. All right, so that's a lap at Brands Hatch in the Mustang GT4. Again, we've got a Discord for the Mustang Challenge community. The link will be in the description below. If you have questions, you can leave them in the comments. You can leave them in the Discord, and I'll make sure to get to them. Round 11 will be at Spa, and then round 12 will be at Oschersleben. I'm sure that I'm slaughtering that pronunciation, but you guys will have to forgive me.